The first time I saw Spark, I thought it was a trick of the light. The way sunlight catches dust in the air. But it's no trick. It's what happens when someone is kind. Or compassionate.
We did it. Huh?
What up, Blicky?
Oh my!
You are 1,000% first. How you doing today, sir? I mean, you could have been first here, but you know.
I mean, he
we
got time to be
understand life
commenting. He got time to be in the episode.
Join in on the discussion, Blick. Come on, bro.
All right. So, good evening, gentlemen. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
I ain't seen or heard from most of you for a week, so I'm sure we all know that we have a lot of things to cover in a very long amount of time. So we're not going to make this run as long as the Game Awards did, but you know, we're definitely going to be on your screen.
Nothing's as long as the Game Awards.
We definitely going to be on your screen for a little bit of time because that I sat there watching the Game Awards and I was like, God, this is long, ain't it? Like,
did you watch it from beginning to end?
I didn't think that I was, but apparently I did.
Yeah, because we wouldn't, because they were doing the Daft Punk like re-release for the movie, so that's where me and Hustle were, and then it's started right before we got in the movie.
Yeah.
And then we got out in the movie, still had time to drive home, and there was still like an hour and 15, 20, 30 minutes left of it. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I think we were in the theater for... How long were we in the theater?
The pre-show ended, so...
Hour 40?
Yeah, something like that.
Like I said, I really just thought, you know, all right, I must have missed some of it because it was supposed to start at 7:30. Since it was a Thursday and I was doing something, I don't really know. But I was a little late, and I was like, all right, well, I'm a little late. Apparently, when I just went back over it yesterday to kind of get some of the videos, hopefully Loon pulled some of the videos for some of the trailers.
That was long. Okay. You remember back in like the early 2000s when Daft Punk came out with like a bunch of music videos, but they were all anime?
Sure.
Like One More Time and Digital Love and all that stuff. So that's part of basically one whole movie with the entire soundtrack. There's no dialogue in it at all. It's just straight up just wait. Are we still on here?
Keep going.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
just straight
keep
up
going.
just
Yeah.
music. But it tells a story so well just from the music and the imagery. So basically, it was animated by. Have you ever seen an old anime like a long time ago called Captain Harlock?
In space something or another.
Yeah. Captain Harlock. I also want to.
Oh,
Did that guy also direct Cyborg 009 or no? He might
Like
have.
009.
I don't think. No, he didn't. He didn't. That's the guy who did Astrobot. But yeah, the guy, not Astrobot,
Astro Boy.
Astro Boy. But yeah, so the guy who animated and directed Captain Harlock, he animated an entire film for Daft Punk's album Discovery back in like when did Discovery come out?
Discovery came out in 2003.
2003. So still holds up to this day, although it was
No, sorry, 2001.
I was about to say, yeah,
no, Human After
we were in
All.
high school.
Yeah, and Human After All, 2005. My bad.
Yeah. So basically, before the movie even started, I think we sat there for like a good 20 minutes of previews, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
That's just going to the movies in general now, especially AMC, because they have all those extra. And especially if you go see something in Dolby or IMAX, you got like 3 extra commercials or teasers just for IMAX or Dolby, just to show off the sound and the video quality. And then you have to do previews. And I was
You
like,
also got to remember when they say the movie starts at such and such a time,
It really does.
that's probably when the actual previews of the movie are going to start, like the coming attractions or whatever you want to call them. So those probably start at the movie start time, and then after that, it usually goes into your previews for maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then your movie. So any movie that you're expecting, you should probably like. I'm not saying to be late because sometimes the previews be a little bit of the best part. You know what I mean? But yeah,
I feel like I got PTSD from when we were younger. You had to get to the theater early to get a good seat. Even though I know I reserved my damn seat, I still got the memories of back in the day where if you got there late, you was getting the front row and you got to break your neck just to watch the movie. Even though I got to do that anymore.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I've never I would leave a theater because I had to sit in the first row. I'm not doing that, especially before the seats lean back.
Bro, these kids now get assigned seating when they go to the theater. That was not a thing back in the day, though.
These kids now, I get assigned seating. I pick my seat. I make sure I'm in the
center. That's what I mean, though. When we were kids, we never had assigned seating. It was literally first come, first serve.
But when we were kids, we went to the movies by ourselves. We jumped on the bus and rode out to Bridgewater and went to the movie theater at Bridgewater Mall with no adult supervision. So we just did whatever we wanted to do when we wanted to do it. Like, you were in high school. You in high school? Go ahead, go to the movies. What you asking me for?
That is true.
Literally like that.
Either Bridgewater or I don't remember if there was a bus. No, there was a bus that went towards Middlesex. Yeah. Wasn't there? To go to the theater out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could do that one.
You just had to walk down the road a little bit.
Yeah,
I didn't like Bridgewater.
It went right down Stellan and you could just walk to it.
Yeah. I preferred that one over Bridgewater, but that was just
Regal. I mean, we went to Bridgewater because it was the mall. Like, let's be real. Like, we wasn't going to Bridgewater just to go to the movies. Like, we was going to Bridgewater so we could go to the movies and so we could like chill in the mall and go just fart around and whatever, and like half of us worked at Bridgewater Mall, so like we already knew like
True, but
like
choice of malls, because this is like the ultimate like central New Jersey test, right? What's your prime choice of mall though? In that region of central New Jersey, because now I have to judge you
That's-
based on that.
See, we were kind of spoiled where we grew up because it depended what kind of shop you wanted to go to. Because if you wanted to go to a comic shop mall, you would go to Woodbridge because they had that dope comic shop. Menlo Park
True.
and Bridgewater didn't have that same shop. But if you wanted the best selection, like video game stores or video stores, you go to Menlo Park Mall because they have more stores than Woodbridge. I don't know. It depends. But
Menlo also had an arcade though.
yeah, Menlo had the arcade. So like for that reason alone, I would do Menlo Park was my go-to mall.
Same. I gotta go with Menlo on that one.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't believe there's just a North and South Jersey. So I live in Central Jersey.
Who? Wait, hold on. Who talking about North and South over there?
Oh, nobody said anything about North and South.
I'm about to say, like, yeah, Central Jersey is a thing.
Only the people in Central Jersey.
Bro, even the governor said that Central Jersey exists. I know y'all don't like to think that it does, but
I don't know who
Middle.
y'all is, but
people in North and South Jersey tend to think that Central Jersey doesn't exist.
anyway, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Start Button Live. This is a safe haven for geeks, nerds, weebs, blurs, gamers, and anything of the like. So, we welcome you. We are close to Christmas. Today, we're going to be talking about, some of the aftermath from the Video Game Awards. Not necessarily the aftermath, but some of the trailers that have come out. We're going to be talking about some of the games that we might be excited for coming for 2025, 2026. Sharing our opinions, asking questions, things of that nature. So, we hope that you'll stay tuned with us for the journey. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, we can get a couple of trailers playing for you later on in the show. For now, I'm your host, King Anarchy. I have Mr. Hustle Simmons, and I also have Mr. Rygen. Of course, we have Mr. Loon on the ones and twos, but probably can't see him. So, before we get started in talking about our topics of conversation, as you know, as per our normal routine, we're going to go with the question of the day. Our question of the day today is: do you think that game show awards are done at the right time of the game award shows are done at the right time of the year? Like, do we think that they're too early or too late? Because as it stands, most of the time when we have a game show award, like the Video Game Awards, it happens in December. But obviously, your nominations have to happen somewhere in November, which means that anything that happens after that nomination cutoff, and like any game that releases after that nomination cutoff, any game that releases after, the Game Show Awards show won't be considered for that year, and they usually get considered for the next year. 9 out of 10 times, if a game came out the year before, they're usually not mentioned in the next year's awards. It's as if they were forgotten. So do we think that we're in a good time frame? Should it be pushed back? Should it be moved up?
I mean, I don't see why it's not just like maybe end of January, early February to get the.
I was gonna say that
because like I don't think it's happened the past couple years where like something big came out in December that should have been considered realistic, because like people always consider game of the year like that calendar year, not exactly like when the release date was versus like when the show is. But in that case, like it doesn't matter like when the Game Awards. It's not like people aren't gonna watch it depending on what time of year it is. It's like you could have it beginning of February, people are still gonna watch it. You can still have game release trailers come out.
Isn't there another awards something in
Grammys.
like February? Grammys? There you go.
Grammys is
Oscar-
February 1st.
And the Oscars around that time too. But like those are always like Sunday nights. So it's not like you're pulling from like you're not like you're pulling viewership from the other like shows.
I mean, and seeing as how the Video Game Awards happens on a Thursday.
Yeah, like the Oscars are always on a Sunday. So it's like, okay, Game Awards, if it's still on a Thursday, you're not neither show is missing or stealing anything from the other one. So
You can do first Thursday of February and have that be the set date for the Game Awards, in my opinion. I think it makes sense to just do it like Rajan said in February, so then you can also count December releases in that.
And it's already like awards season anyway, so why not make it Game Awards season 2?
Yeah, makes sense because I think the cutoff date is November, right? Usually for nominations and all that stuff, right? And
usually I want to say it's somewhere around like November the 15th.
Yeah, something like that.
So if something came out on like the 2nd or the 9th or something like that, you have a week.
Yeah.
And then I don't really know that's like we're only at the 17th. So we're halfway through December and we've already had the video game awards announced for the game of the year. And if something came out at the end of November, you know what I'm saying, missed the window and was an amazing game that like blew everybody's socks off, then what?
Yeah, that's like because music doesn't do that. What like didn't Chromacopia and GNX come out in November?
So neither one was. Yeah, so they were outside that weird like the nomination timeline. So, but even though realistically it's like should have been in the conversation for the year for that year, but since they don't do it by January 1st, December 31st, it's like that's why a lot of shit gets cut out.
Yeah, so it's like, why can't games kind of follow a formula of like, hey, November counts, December counts, we then start nominating in January. There you go. January is the month that we count up things, we calculate, we have judges decide, and all that. And then announce
says music does cut it off before the end of
the year. What month do they cut it off at though?
She said, I'm sure they cut off before December. I really don't know in terms of music and like where they make those justifications, but I mean, if they cut them off before the end of the year, I mean, it's I guess more incentive to make sure that your stuff is not put out late, because obviously you want to be considered for like again, if something came out in early December or late November, right? What's the likelihood that it's even going to be on the nomination docket for next year? Like, didn't we get a Mario game in December one year and like it wasn't even mentioned the next year?
Was it? No, was it Wonder?
No, it came out fall, so I think that got nominated for last year's awards. That came out like fall last year, and it was nominated for a bunch of stuff.
No, you're right.
Was it Odyssey? No.
Nah.
Odyssey came out with the console.
Yep.
Whatever it was, there was a Mario. Maybe it was Paper Mario or something.
Hold on, let me just look up.
Whatever it was, there was a Mario game that came out like late in the year, or even like Smash Brothers. Didn't Smash Brothers come out like late in the year and then like?
Yeah, that came out December. Yeah, that came out winter December that year. It came out the latest Smash on the Switch.
And I don't even think it ever won anything, did it?
I think it probably won like best party game, like.
But the next year,
yeah,
Paper Mario Origami King.
But then, Paper Mario. But then people were pissed off because it didn't win Best Fighter. I specifically remember that. The Smash community was not happy that Smash didn't win Best Fighter. I forgot what it was.
No, I did.
It did?
Yeah, so the way it came out, it was all part of the awards of 2019. It got nominated. It actually did get nominated for Game of the Year. It won Best Fighting Game
in 2019.
In 2019, but
it came out in 2018,
December 2018. Yeah.
Okay, so
they did round it off to okay.
Okay, so we all right. We've been proven wrong a tad bit, but you know, like I said, it was legitimately one of those things where it's like, this is ass.
Yeah. Well, no, when you think of it this way, it's weird because the Game Awards would have been around the same time Smash Ultimate came out, but it's weird when you think that a Game of the Year contender for the following year literally came out the week that the Game Awards were that year.
Right.
All right, that was the year that Death Stranding and Sekiro came out.
Sekiro won Game of the Year that year.
Yeah,
deservedly so. I'm a FromSoft fan. Well, you don't know that.
And Control was also up for that too.
So being a FromSoft fan and knowing that it's possible that FromSoft equals Sony sooner or later, how do you feel about that?
I don't think things will change because, well, I don't know. I think we would potentially get a Bloodborne 2 sooner than something that Miyazaki wants to do. Because, like, obviously Sony owns the Bloodborne IP, but From Software projects go in the way that Miyazaki says, because kind of just lets him
have free reign of whatever it is that he wants to do there.
So, but if Sony's in charge, we're like, I know that's great. That's great. You work on stuff. How about that Bloodborne 2, though? We've been seeing people clamor about that for like 10 years straight now. So, like,
and they won't shut up.
Maybe you should put the other stuff on the back burner and give us Bloodborne 2.
Me being one of them.
I mean, let's be real. They've given us Elden Ring DLC, Elden Ring multiplayer, Elden Ring, now Elden Ring spin-off game. It's like, they're hard diverting from anything Bloodborne related.
Yeah.
Nope.
Or even Armored Core, or like Armored Core should have got some DLC at this point, whether it be like just some new missions,
some support,
some new weapons, something like that. But like, yeah, like From Software right now is kind of like no one never knows what's on the horizon for them until they announce them. Yeah. So and Miyazaki's not even the head of that of Night Rain, the Elden Ring spinoff. He's somebody else is directing that. Kind of like how when Dark Souls 2 came out, he didn't direct Dark Souls 2. He was just an executive producer.
So what is Miyazaki's role at FromSoft?
I think is
he creative director?
He's I think the president.
Like does he basically the president?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the president and primary director of most of their games. So that's why like everything they do is like how he laid it out, how it lays it out. Like this is the game plan, here's the roadmap, that's what we're releasing.
I mean, I can't argue with it because obviously it's brought them a level of success that, others haven't experienced. But at the same time, like, bias much, you know what I mean? Like
a little bit.
All we know is that when none of y'all checking for Demon Souls, none of y'all was. Except for
Demon Souls is one of those games where I bought it like 3 times and returned it like 3 times. This is before all of the Dark Souls, everything came out. I bought the game. I was like, oh, this game was cool. And, I was like, I had to run around and, kill stuff. And then I realized how difficult it was and I returned it. And then I bought it again. Tried it again.
Those early days of Demon Souls was rough before the wikis were launched off, really giving you tips and tricks. And you just had to like figure it out.
Yeah. Yeah. And every single time that I played it, I tried to figure it out. It just wasn't clicking. And then, like, I had finally got to the end of the first stage and then realized I couldn't beat the boss because I didn't know what the fuck to do.
I would love to know, Raijin, what is your one criticism towards the Soul series? Like, a major criticism that you have that you're just like, yo, if y'all could just change that.
It looks like the DLC is kind of added on, but there's no reason for the movement of the player to still be as stiff as it is. Like Elden Ring added some more stuff, like the Bloodfang Blade being able to like give like little almost like Bleach quick steps and stuff like that, flash steps, whatever you want to call it. That. And it was nice getting jumping, but it was just like you it was like a old school Mario hop. You didn't.
I'm about to say you got to hop.
You get a hop. You don't really get like, and you don't. There's jump attacks, but like when I'm thinking action game, I'm thinking of jump attack. I'm thinking like almost like some Don't May Cry nonsense or something like that. This a little bit more fluidity. I think the next game. That's why I think a lot of people like Sekiro a lot more because the movement's so much quicker. You can maneuver around the battlefield with like the grappling hook arm, do crazy combos and stuff like that. Like that's why I think Sekiro's got the best combat out of all these games.
Yeah.
Oh, you got caught by the Cuphead. The Cuphead curse.
Oh, I knew Cuphead was going to be rough.
Yeah. Cuphead was designed to look like it was going to be easy, but it was extremely deceptive because, no.
love
Cuphead
that
don't
game.
care.
I love that game though.
That game is infamous for being difficult.
Deceptive.
I still gotta play the DLC for that.
Oh
I still
yeah, they
gotta
did
finish
put
the
that
game.
out.
I played a little bit of it, but I didn't finish it.
I need
Like,
to watch the show.
Show was great. That was like if you like that old school Animaniacs feel, like the Cuphead show was great.
And if they didn't they also, I feel like they announced the Cuphead too. I feel like they did, but maybe I missed out. Maybe I'm wrong.
Cuphead 2, like the game.
Yeah, I feel like they announced the sequel like a long time ago.
I don't think they're currently working on a sequel. I don't know. I don't know what.
No,
they're
I don't
working on.
remember anything about
That's
the sequel.
surprising.
I know that they had the what was that, the last recourse or whatever it was.
The
That
last,
was,
yeah, last course. Yeah,
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 last
last
course or
course.
whatever. But I know that was a DLC off of the first one rather than being a part 2.
Yeah, they haven't announced a sequel yet. The last thing they did was like Cuphead specifically was the DLC and the show, and like it's kind of just been in limbo.
So let's see. Speaking of hard games, this one isn't really going to be a hard game, but you know, Dauntless has some news and some updates. So I'll give a little bit of background. Dauntless is actually, you know, like a game that's similar to Monster Hunter, which is why I said speaking of hard games. So Monster Hunter can be a challenging game because it requires you to learn monsters, attack patterns, and things of that nature. It can be a game that can be a little bit unforgiving with killing you and things of that nature until you learn it. So many of us have played Dauntless. If you haven't played Dauntless, it's a game that's been out since like 2017. It's actually kind of one of the things that fans of games like Monster Hunter were clamoring for, because at that time, the only Monster Hunter games that we were getting were on the Switch or the DS at the time, I believe it was. It wasn't even a Switch, it was a DS. So
Yep.
we were getting like a bunch of DS games, and people didn't really want to play those games on the handheld. So Dauntless brought us a Monster Hunter style game to PC and consoles. And I believe they brought it to us for free, if I
Yep.
don't
Yep.
remember.
Free.
There was a founders pack if you got in early. I think I might have gotten in early and had
I
gotten.
think
one
you
of
did
those
buy the
founder
founders
packs.
pack.
Yeah, and it was like 20
I think
bucks.
I did too.
I think I paid the $20 one. Like I
I
did.
think I
I
also bought the founders pack.
believe we all did. Because
Oh
we
yeah,
were
yeah,
like,
yeah. I
"What?"
think we did buy. I think all of us.
It was
bought
like
the
we were
founders
like,
pack.
what? We're about to get a Monster Hunter style? Like it was one of those type of things. So you know, if you weren't familiar, it was a co-op hunting game, somewhat similar to like Monster Hunter World. It actually gave you that free reign instead of having to go from zone to zone like the old Monster Hunter games. It was initially released on the Epic Store back in 2017. And again, one of the first hunting type games to come to the console since Monster Hunter Tri, which was on, I believe, the Wii and the Wii U. Yeah, I believe that was the Wii and the Wii U. So that's how long it had been. When at that time, I think we were already on like PlayStation 4 and like stuff. So anyway,
Yeah, we just
people
had
who initially got
Monster
into
Hunter
Dauntless.
No, I was saying around that time we just had Monster Generations. Like I was saying, you're right
Yeah.
because we didn't have a console game since
No.
it was 4, whatever, 4
Yeah.
or whatever it was called, the one that came out both
On the
consoles,
DS?
the 3DS and the Wii U, that they had
Yeah.
you could transfer the character between
Right.
saves.
Well, I know that Tri came out on 3DS and the Wii U, whatever. So I
They
mean, either
also
which
didn't
way.
have. You couldn't play with someone who was playing on console, and you couldn't do online multiplayer with it like you could with 4.
Right. And so a lot of people ended up being fans of Dauntless, you know. So we got into it, we got some gear, they started introducing new weapons. It had its own unique feel. It was a little bit different from, you know, what we were used to. It was a little bit more cartoony. The movement was a little different, but we adjust because when we really want something, you know, we'll make concessions from what we're used to. The game was a decent game. It had its own unique feel. It was always compared, obviously, for those who were familiar with like the hunting style games. Everything is always going to be compared to Monster Hunter. But Obviously, with Monster Hunter being Capcom, when it comes to that genre, is kind of king right now. So anyway, with that being said, it's been out since 2017, and so obviously people who have been playing it up until now, it's 2024 now. So you would imagine that they have a whole bunch of stuff. Like they've farmed up weapons and gear and monsters, and having to repeatedly play monsters and sink hundreds of hours into a game, to get some good stuff is kind of its own reward. But recently the company that actually created Dauntless, which I believe was Phoenix Labs, was purchased by a company called Forte, and they were ordered to keep quiet about the acquisition. Like they weren't allowed to tell anybody that they were bought. They weren't allowed to tell anybody that there was any kind of a transition. So it comes as a surprise to many people. But the real story is what everyone is calling the Great Reset. So Forte, I'll let Hustle explain about Forte later, but basically they reset the game and they pretty much wiped everybody's everything that they actually tried to achieve, everything that they actually earned, they wiped it. It's all gone.
Yep.
All gone. All your weapons, all your armor, all your hunting time. They put everybody back to square one. They launched it on Steam. It's been launched to overwhelmingly negative reviews because everybody lost all of their progress, and they also locked certain weapons behind paywalls, such as like the chain blade and the repeaters, which are basically the pistols. You have to pay to get those now. Like you can't just go out there, get a certain level or anything like that. In addition, I also heard that they added loot boxes.
Yep.
Because a game is free, so why not add loot boxes, right? Like we need a way to make money, so we're gonna do what we can in order to make some money. Anyway, the Phoenix Labs basically made a statement saying that we did a reset because we wanted everybody who was already familiar with the game to go back and have to do a tutorial because we don't want them playing with unoptimal builds or non-optimal builds. The game is different now. So, Hustle, can you explain to us what Forte is?
Forte is a venture capitalist group that bought them up, and they also specialize in, I believe, blockchain and crypto. So
Yes.
there you go. That company's as good as dead. Sorry to tell you that.
Forte also had their hand in other video games previously, but none of them lasted very long.
I wonder why. What games were they that didn't last very long?
I don't know. They didn't last very long.
Oh, yeah. The venture capitalist group somehow didn't know how games work and killed the games faster than they could actually get them out.
I don't know. They didn't last very long.
Shocking. It's almost like when you let a venture capitalist group buy up a game studio, the greedy idiots at the top don't know how it works, and they end up destroying the game and basically killing any money they would have made on it in the first place.
Oh, you mean so it's like buying a 5-year-old a Transformer toy from 1987 and just handing it to them without any instructions and trying to let them figure it out, and eventually the toy gets broken before they ever successfully transform it for the first time.
Yep. Wait, who did that?
I just said a kid.
Was that?
I'm just no.
Oh
no.
But no, it's true.
The reason that I made the reference to like a Transformer toy from like 1987 is because the Transformers back then were extraordinarily complex versus like what you might find today, where it's like you move 3 pieces and it changes from a robot to a truck or something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? You fold down the legs and you pop up the head and all of a sudden, oh, it's a truck. But like back then it was, you got to do this and this and this. So that's what I'm saying. Like a kid now giving them an old toy that was complicated and just expecting them to figure it out. So anyway, When was the last time you guys played Dauntless?
Pandemic, I think. It's been a while. Like lockdowns.
I think the last time I attempted
Before-
to play was somewhere on when it was on like PS5. Wow.
Before World was announced.
Before World was announced.
And then when World was announced, like my desire to play that game just died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When World came out and I put my hours into Monster Hunter World, I definitely left Dauntless alone. But I did come back, you know, because I have friends who definitely play Dauntless on like PlayStation. So when it came over to PlayStation, I 1000% attempted to play it for a while. I just wasn't feeling it because you know World was just significantly better.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, I just was like, yeah, I'm a go.
There's
I'm
a
not
reason
gonna-
why.
I'm not gonna do this.
It's like this. It's like this is great. This is great. Y'all have fun. I want to play Monster Hunter World.
But since the release of that and Worlds, we did get, in my opinion, honestly good alternative to Monster Hunter, which was Wild Hearts. But EA doesn't know what they're doing with that property, so I don't know if we're ever gonna get a Wild Hearts 2.
We're not.
Probably not. Yeah, no, probably not.
They won't give us a Titanfall 3. Like we're not.
Yeah, and it's sad because it was a good game.
There
It's
was some
beautiful
game I
monster
saw a
variety.
trailer for that reminded me of Titanfall on the video game. It wasn't Titanfall 3, obviously.
Oh,
but,
was it Steel
Hunters?
Hunters?
Steel
Yeah.
Hunters,
Yeah, I play.
whatever,
I've
yeah.
I've been playing the.
That's in
it's
like
still
beta
up.
or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's still up right now. I've been
Yeah,
playing it.
they have a beta going up till the 22nd. Anyone can sign up for right now.
I do wish it was more like team deathmatch rather than like it looks more like
Objective.
BR.
It's like PvE VP. It's like you have
Yeah.
squads drop in. There's like drones you fight, but you can also try to take out other squads at the same time. So like firefights can get crazy if you jump in and fight multiple teams at the same time. But
So I heard that Mecha Break is going to be turning into a PvP VE. So they're going to be putting other robots and stuff on the.
Well,
the
they
map,
showed boss
whatever.
fights.
They showed some
with
good
giant
stuff.
robots.
yeah,
I was like, bro, like first of all, I already decided that I'm getting the game as long. I don't care if it's
Same.
free. I don't care if it costs money. I already decided that I was going to get the game. But then I started seeing the trailer from the Video Game Awards. And I was like, I need that like now because
Yeah,
they've made so many improvements from what we've experienced.
I mean, honestly, the beta that I played for as long as I was playing that beta, like they could have just released it and I would have been happy.
Game like the
I'd have been
first
very happy with
beta
it.
that I was in or alpha or whatever, it felt finished then. So by the time we all got to play, I was like, yo, they just adding more and more polish. Like Ubisoft could never.
Yeah, like
That was a joke.
for real.
That was a joke. That was a joke. That was a
Nah.
joke.
You're not wrong though. I mean,
I'm just saying that was a joke. Ubisoft could never.
I want to see how long I was playing that beta.
So would you guys go back to Dauntless now? Like after a reset? Like would
Hell
you-
no.
after you told me the most interesting guns are now behind a paywall now. Nah, like that
I mean, they could potentially, you know, like I said, their feedback right now is overwhelmingly negative. So they could literally turn it around and decide, you know what? We were wrong. We messed up. We're gonna take away this paywall. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna give you back your weapons. Now,
bring
if
back
they
the
give you your
crafting.
weapons back, because they added new systems, you're like there's nothing that makes you interested.
Apparently, the devs have actually responded back to the backlash.
was it blink twice if you're in trouble. What did they say?
Reflections on the launch and what comes next. Slayers, we hear you. Dauntless has always been built on passion and dedication of its incredible community. And with the Awakening update, we know many of you have felt let down. And for those who feel your time, effort, and trust were overlooked, we sincerely apologize. The Awakening update introduced significant changes intended to relaunch Dauntless with a strong foundation for a new regular seasonal schedule and to secure the game's long-term viability. While our goals were ambitious, we acknowledge that the rollout caused frustration and confusion, and our communication fell short. That's on us, and we're committed to earning your trust. To better respect your lost progress investment, all returning players will receive 300,000 rams and 5,000 combat merits. I don't remember what those are. We'll be awarding up to another 500 peerless Aetheryte to help you regain endgame power based on your weapon crafting in the pre-awakening game. In an upcoming update, we'll unlock all game modes from the start for returning players, enabling you to jump straight into the content you want without being required to complete the quest line. While these steps won't undo all frustrations, we hope to show our commitment to supporting your return to Ramsgate and valuing your contributions. Actions speak louder than words, and this is just the beginning. Immediate adjustments are underway to address progression, monetization, and technical issues. Looking ahead, we remain focused on building a game that respects your time, celebrates your passion, and delivers on the promise of the Awakening Foundation. Thank you for your patience, feedback, and your commitment to Dauntless. Together, we'll ensure Dauntless becomes a game that you're proud to call home again.
That doesn't say that we're taking away the paywall, though.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get down to the listening to community section of this. If you want to go down to the paywall, well, I'll go down to the paywall for the monetization practices. What we heard: concerns that progression systems feel paywalled and unfriendly to free players. Frustrations over loot boxes, the removal of platinum rewards, and non-randomization cosmetics from the Hunt Pass. Feedback that monetization changes feel out of touch with the Dauntless community. Where we're at. While we failed to originally communicate this, on top of the weapon tokens provided through the Hunt Pass and weekly challenges, our existing but underexplained plan includes providing variable amounts of weapon tokens from other sources during each season. For example, in Dauntless Awakening, players will be able to earn additional tokens during our upcoming seasonal event, Frostfall. Hunt Pass Prestige core drop tables have been rebalanced to provide more guaranteed rams and Aetheryte, offering greater rewards to active players progressing beyond level 50. Effective immediately, the previously paid Aetheryte claims from the store, weekly for Pureless, daily for Shining, and hourly for Dull, will be free. Note that these will likely move from the store to weekly gameplay sources.
I'm not going to hold y'all, but I have no idea what any of this means. So I haven't played Dauntless in 4 years.
Yeah,
we're spending too much time reading this whole article.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm calling timeout. It's like
I'll just get to the part of like, while we will not be able to change this for the in progress season, the next season's Hunt Pass will introduce platinum rewards, 100 on the free track and an additional 100 on the elite track. Reevaluating monetization strategies to balance sustainability with fairness and while remaining rewarding for players. Exploring ways to refine Hunt Pass content in future seasons to offer better value. I'm not hearing bringing back the crafting though, is what I'm like
that was
concerned about.
Translation: hey, our bad, here's some free currency. Also, it doesn't really tell you how much you actually get with said currency, because they could have just raised the prices of all this stuff. So that 300,000, 500, 5,000, whatever, 2,000 currency might not actually mean anything in the long run.
That is true.
It just sounds good to get people in. It's like, oh, see, they're doing something. Then you log in the game and it's like, oh, I can get like
predatory.
I can get like one.
The wolf is on you as soon as you log on. Like they over here, like, gotcha, bitch.
Yeah.
Bank account, mine.
Like all that don't mean nothing.
Yeah, they're just like
it sounds like a bunch of hot air. Like they're just basically inflating us with words. And you know what? To be honest with you, I can't really blame Phoenix Labs.
Oh yeah, well yeah, no.
I can't blame Phoenix Labs because Phoenix Labs hasn't been doing this for all of this time. This isn't in line with their normal practices. This isn't what their original goal was. We could see that they had a passion for the game from the start. We could see where the game had its own heart. We could see everything about the game that they wanted to put through. Now, what happens is some company comes along because Phoenix Labs. Because remember, passion projects bring you broke. It is what it is. They don't bring money. They bring you broke. So some other company comes in because they were hurting and they wanted to keep this game running. They've had, bro, it's been a long run. It's been a long run.
I appreciate
your game has survived longer than 4 games this year.
That is true.
It's been a long run. Let it go.
And it's the closest thing we would have ever gotten to like a Monster Hunter Frontier, because that never released in America. There's ways you could have done it.
Yeah, there's ways that they could have done it, but they needed money.
I'd have rather you just been honest and be like, hey guys, listen, let's be transparent here. To continuously give you guys content, we need your help. Boom. There you go. You can have like donations, something, maybe collab with some other people. Reach out to Capcom, collaborate with them. So now you have a Dauntless Monster Hunter collaboration that people could like experience. What? Why you give me that look?
Yeah, I don't think Capcom would have did that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like, I don't know.
Capcom is a company. It's like, oh, who's this? It's like, why would we partner with the peasants? Like, I don't know why. I just feel I just feel like Capcom would be like that in terms of collaboration.
I feel like Dauntless would knock on Capcom's door, and then Capcom would be the one to answer the door and be like,
"Why are the
poor? Hey, look, guys, it's poor over here."
No, literally, like, why are the poor here, and why do they think they can speak to me? He's like,
right. Like everybody would come to the door, like, ha 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 ha. Yeah, like.
On Capcom's fault.
Like, when did we like? Did you order a pizza? Like, I feel like that's like it would be.
On Capcom's phone, it would be like 50 missed calls from Dauntless. Like, nah, don't pick that up.
Dauntless creators like Wolverine with a picture of the monsters.
I'm
teardrop.
Dear Capcom, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling.
I'm just saying, there's things you could have done if you needed the monetization, which obviously, yes, you do, because you're developing new monsters and putting them out, every month? I'm assuming.
Were they doing it every month?
Dauntless?
I don't know how the development goes.
No, Dauntless was like, they were adding new monsters, but I think it was like every few months you got a new monster. But like,
it was like every phase or something. Yeah,
because they didn't.
So it might have been every season.
Because they didn't launch with that many monsters in comparison to Monster Hunter. It was like what, 5 or 6? Different. Yeah,
it was original. Like, it was like 5 monsters, 6 monsters, something like that.
Let me see.
And then they, like, as they keep doing updates or whatever, they add more. Like, that was one thing where Wild Hearts actually had a leg up, because when Wild Hearts launched, they had a whole game and they had a whole roster of monsters. It wasn't the same, and you had maybe 20, and then you got variants or something like that, like Max, but.
Yeah,
it was enough. I'm not going to complain about it, especially not for somebody's first run.
Yeah, because it could have just flat out failed and just been terrible. And it I had my issues with it, but it wasn't like, I wouldn't call it trash.
I just feel bad for like how the original developers got screwed over. But that's what happened when like these companies come over, swoop in, take over.
Yep. As you said time and time again.
Who's that company that bought out Gearbox? Wasn't that another
2K, wasn't it?
The 2K
no, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Gearbox is owned by 2K, I believe.
All right. Then who's the company that bought out the company that does Saints Row?
Ooh, oh god.
Valiant? No, wait. That was a weird.
Yeah, Take-Two bought Take-Two/2K is same company.
Yeah, well, Take-Two. Well, remember, half of the stuff.
Deep Silver owns them now. Wait,
Volition.
Deep Silver. No. Volition Gaming was the company that made Saints Row, but
publishers.
they're now owned by Gearbox, so in turn owned by Take-Two. Yeah.
Wait, what? Huh.
There was a big acquisition last year, and half of half of Gearbox's properties went to Take-Two, but the other half went somewhere else. Because remember, Randy Pitchford went over with some venture capitalists himself.
Randy Pitchford is such a piece of shit. I hate that guy so much.
I mean, at the same time, you know, he did say that Borderlands 4 is supposed to be giving us updated movement and updated this and that. And they also said that they don't plan on doing as much toilet humor. And that if there is a skibbity joke in the game, then
they claim you'll also be like, if you see that place in the distance, you can go explore it. Like that kind of detailed open world. We'll see.
We've heard that before, haven't we?
I just want good end game and post launch content like we got with Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. Like, give me new hunters, because you didn't have that in Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 felt, oh my god. If you just go on Steam and look at the reviews for all the DLC, it's all negative. All negative. They didn't do nothing with that. DLC was all trash. And I bought
How you feel about the hunters that we actually were confirmed? We got 4 hunters. They showed us.
Well, yeah.
I didn't watch the longer gameplay demo to see their skills and stuff yet.
I didn't see their skills. I'm just saying, like, the basic design for the 4 hunters, like, it looked like they had a 0, but
they're kind of basic.
0.
They're kind of basic.
Yeah,
that's how I felt. Kind of
basic.
Like
they could have put more effort into them.
Was there no siren?
No, the red-haired chick. It's a siren. I don't think you can see her tattoos.
I have to look at that again. Hold on, let me see.
No, the brown-haired chick, not the taller chick that has the pink trench coat.
She was a siren.
Yeah, she has siren tattoo.
I mean, it makes sense.
So that's the one thing, you have to have a siren. Like, that's established.
I mean, if that's at this point, yeah, you do. But that's their fault. They put us in that. They put us in that category where we have to have a siren, because if we don't have a siren,
split screen,
there's going to be an uprising. But can you imagine? I heard that they hired on some great writer or something. Great Indian writer.
Yeah, it is a siren. I'm down. Hey, listen, if they got a great writer, then cool. I mean, the writing wasn't terrible.
I don't think the writing was bad in 3.
It wasn't bad in 3.
I think the only thing I didn't like about 3 is how they screwed over how Randy Pitchford screwed over the Claptrap voice actor.
Oh yeah, that was wrong. They did that guy so wrong. They honestly should have had him. As much as I hate the Borderlands movie, they should have just had him voice Claptrap in that. There was no need to have Jack Black in it.
Well, at this point, it almost seems like if you have some kind of video game thing, you gotta have Jack Black in it. Like, between now, Borderlands, Mario, and oh my god, blanking. Minecraft, yeah, Steven, the Minecraft movie coming out later next year.
Wow, he really is.
Could you imagine if Claptrap just started singing "Peaches, Peaches, 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 Peaches"?
I feel like Claptrap has sung in a game before.
Yeah, he definitely has.
He sings everything. That's what I'm saying. Like, if he could just bust out and just start singing Peaches, that'd have been hilarious.
One thing I did notice, I don't know if it's a hunter's feature or if it's a weapon, but I think they have dual melee.
Dual melee?
Because if you have to literally freeze it at the right second, and you can see 2 different axes being thrown and used. So I'm like, is there now melee in it? Because that would be cool. I honestly wish a lot more shooters would embrace melee. I get it, you're getting shot at or whatever, but make up some sci-fi bullshit reason as to why you can use a sword. They did it, you know what I mean?
Like Zero with a sword would have been fire.
Yeah, and have his whole kit be I can use different swords or some shit.
Yeah, Zero should have been a primarily melee character. Krieg should have been playing a character. Obviously Brick was supposed to be a melee character, but it would only work for his ult. It's so it's that's stupid.
Let me just pump shit, make up a bunch of different. You already have the technology to make a shit ton of different guns that do a bunch of different shit. Shouldn't be that hard to do the same thing code wise with melee weapons.
Yeah, or just make that specific character designed for melee. You take 10% less damage or something like that. If you're gonna be a melee pseudo tank or something like that, bullet sponge, whatever you want to call it.
I can literally make up excuses of why someone can do melee in a shooter game. They have a special personal shield. There you go, personal like body field or some shit like that.
I mean, Zero was a robot, so
Alien
ninja.
ninja. They don't really tell you what Zero is. You just know that he has 4 fingers.
Okay, that makes sense.
Which is why they speculate he's possibly an alien, because he's the only one that's like super tall, super lanky, but has 4 fingers for some reason. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, aliens do exist in the Borderlands world, obviously. So I would actually like to see them do that more. Like, give us more hunters that are not human, which we did kind of get last with Borderlands 3, because one of them was literally a robot.
Yeah, in pre-sequel, you had the robot copy of Handsome Jack.
Right. That's true. I want to see more of that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that with traveling from planet to planet, place to place, you can do a lot. You can do non-humanoid style aliens. You could do still your normal humans or whatever. You could even explain it that the sirens are aliens.
I never did they actually.
The main thing I remember about sirens is that there can only be so many that exist in the universe at one time, or something like that.
One.
I think
Highlander rule, bitch.
It was 4. If I remember right, was it 4?
Was it 4?
4. It's 3 or 4. I don't remember.
I know there was that sirens individuals. Only 6 can exist at any given time. When a siren dies, their powers are passed on to another individual. All sirens are inexplicably drawn to the planet Pandora at some point in their lives.
Okay. So I got a question. Are award shows happy or sad? Like, could you imagine like busting your ass and like not getting anything, knowing that you were nominated for like 7 things? Like, how do you feel about that? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't know. It's like that's like a combination of ego and like and what you release. It's like, because like obviously if I release a game, like, yeah, this game's great, and then it's like, and then like I get like humbled, like, that game was trash. I'm like,
well, what if your game was great?
What
What if everybody like said it was great? What if all you heard about your game was great and you still didn't win?
That means that something was better. Like Obi-Wan said, there's always bigger fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that goes into the story that's been floating around about the creator from Black Myth Wukong. As we know, Raijin is biased towards Black Myth Wukong, but basically the Black Myth Wukong was actually nominated.
Calm down,
Jamal. Black Myth Wukong was nominated for Game of the Year, and it didn't win. Game of the Year went to Astrobots, which, you know, by its own right was actually a really good game. You know, might not be everybody's flavor, but it gave you that Mario feel in PlayStation form. They had a lot of callbacks for different PlayStation titles and things of that nature. Platformer, family friendly, nice game. But you know, with Black Myth Wukong, they did win. I believe they won 2 awards. They were nominated
Best Action Game and Player's Choice Award.
Yep.
Right. So Player's Choice and Best Action Game. Now, with that being said, the producer of Black Myth Wukong, or the director, one or the other, they went on to, essentially it was Chinese Twitter, and he made statements afterwards, and basically his statements were expressing disappointment. But people took the first part of his statement and spun it around to be that he was a sore loser, because he says, I had my acceptance speech ready. You know, he was like, I don't know what the criteria is for like Game of the Year and getting picked, but you know, I came here for nothing. Like, I came for nothing. Like, now that's just taking one sentence out of context. He said a lot. There was like 8 paragraphs of what he said. And essentially he basically said, I know that my game is great. You know, you can't win them all. You win some, you lose some. And I'm actually kind of upset. But, you know, just because we didn't win doesn't mean that we're stopping here. You know, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms and no, I'm sorry, it wasn't Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Journey to the West,
Journey
which
to the
is a
West.
story that Black Myth Wukong is actually based off of, but he basically said Journey to the West is an amazing story, and like getting nominated for Game of the Year is a first for Chinese culture. You know what I'm saying? And you know, it's a big win for the Chinese people, things of that nature. So like he actually expressed, you know, his confidence, his disappointment, his gratitude, all of that in pretty much a long form tweet. But obviously, if you work really hard at something, you think that you put out a great product and you don't win, it feels kind of normal to be a little bit disappointed that you don't win, especially when you know the initial response to what is to your product is, yo, this is great. So is he being a sore loser? Like should he never said anything? Is he not allowed to speak?
I think it's fine he expressed disappointment because, like, yeah, like you came out swinging your first time going, was critical acclaim, all that. But I don't think the problem about this like rhetoric about the game is with them, like, because obviously, like, they were proud of the product they put out. They wanted to win. They got nominated for Game of the Year on their first run, which is crazy when you think about it for a game that was kind of development hell for years. But I don't. It's I haven't been liking the communication about this game and how the award went down because it's like it feels gross because there's been like the weird stuff like outside of that with the player base, like review bombing other games. There's been people having these weird takes online saying like Astrobot didn't deserve the win because it didn't push gaming positively. And I'm like, what are we talking about? Like like I said offline, my personal favorite game this year was Black Myth Wukong. I put dozens of hours in that game because I love those action games like that. So that was the game I had the most fun with. But I also probably almost equally had as much fun with Astrobot because it was the purest video game that came out this year.
It was
just a pure
awesome
video game that anyone can play that got critical acclaim. And as we've seen for decades, people like platformers like Mario because it gives you the best wholesome feeling of playing a video game. Like
you don't have to worry about writing, you don't have to worry about inappropriate content, you don't have to worry about things like that.
You don't have to worry about getting your ass whipped by a boss 5,000 times because the game is so incredibly difficult.
I think I said the week Astrobot came out, I picked it up. I played for the first couple of hours and I was like I felt sad, not because I wasn't enjoying the game, but I was like, yo, I haven't just played a game for pure joy in such a long time that it was such a great breath of fresh air. And I don't think people are realizing how important that is because everyone plays games of sweat now to be competitive and like overall honestly, even casual games like Sparking Zero was supposed to be fun as hell. How many people were being sweaty about that game that first week? Same thing right now, Marvel Rivals. Granted right now, Marvel Rivals is based off a competitive shooter game, but no one playing it to have fun. Like no one plays games to have fun anymore.
Yeah,
what video games are for. And the fact Astrobot's like sort of like how did this win? And it's like, did you play the game? No. And I'm like,
that's why.
Just play the game. Like
I don't want to play a game like that. That's for kids. Just play it.
Like, when did you start playing games? When I was a kid. And what are you still doing to this day? Playing video games. You a grown ass kid, play some Astrobot. Like
that's why I caught up on some old ass games that came out on the Switch when I bought my Switch, like Mario Odyssey. And I was like, wow, this is a lot of fun. Platformers are fun.
That is exactly how I expect you to say it too. This is a lot of fun. Like, yo. Like that's that moment where you really feel what the game was.
Yeah, Like games are supposed to be fun, y'all. Like y'all have turned that. Not y'all, not our audience, because y'all are awesome. But like,
Look
when
at
did
that, guys. He
Legend of
said y'all
Wukong
are
become
awesome.
some weird like culture war thing? Like what? What are we? It's a game about a monkey that fights people with a staff. When did this become a political culture war talking point? What are we talking about here, people? I don't. What is happening to gaming? Like, what is happening, y'all? Like, why? Why is this the hill people are dying on? I don't understand it.
People choose very good hills to die on sometimes.
No, very
but
bad hills to die on.
Sometimes people choose the dumbest.
Like,
Sometimes people will stand on an anthill and say, "I'm not moving."
this is fucking ridiculous. Like, and let's keep it a buck. Outside of the DLC being chosen for Game of the Year, which I honestly think Space Marine 2 should have been in that place, or Helldivers 2 should have been in that place.
Helldivers 2 100% should have been a Game of the Year conversation.
You know why they didn't nominate Animal Crossing V? Because Animal Crossing has a snake in it. Somebody who lends you money in the very beginning of the game.
I feel like,
and then makes you.
It's not even lend you money. He forces you into a contract. Like,
that is wild too.
Yeah.
Like you have
That's
no.
why Animal Crossing doesn't get nominated for Game of the Year.
I think it did. 2020, right? I think it did get nominated.
I was being funny.
Oh yeah. But like, there were so many bangers on that Game of the Year list that in my opinion, everyone deserved to win. That was on that list.
True.
For Game of the Year because they were all great games. The only one that I have not played, I haven't played Wukong yet. I plan on doing that, and I haven't played Metaphor yet. Like, I want to play Metaphor at some point. I've been forgetting about that. I'm like, oh yeah, Metaphor is the game that came out. I'm actually shocked Metaphor didn't win. To be honest with you,
I thought Metaphor was winning. Like I was going.
I mean,
Game Awards
Metaphor was sweeping. Like then again, Astrobots, Metaphor. Final Fantasy and
Balatro.
Everything that was nominated for Game of the Year won multiple awards except for Shadow of the Erdtree.
Yeah.
Did Shadow of the Erdtree win best anything?
It didn't get anything. Every category was nominated and didn't win one.
But Elden Ring got a ton. So honestly, they
didn't really need it.
Evened out. Like you really didn't need it. Like people were just like done. Like if you want me to be honest with you, like not to say that Shadow of the Erdtree isn't good. Like it's just that they swept. They got everything already. Now they coming back for a second run.
That year Elden Ring was released was like they won so much. You might not even put your game out during that year.
Like so coming back for a second run,
it
feels like coming back to the buffet table. Like after you just had 7 plates.
It was wild. It was wild because Elden Ring and Death Stranding basically sweep the entire award show. No one won anything else. It was just Elden Ring and
God of War.
Oh, God of War did come out.
Yeah, Elden Ring and Ragnarok were the same year. They swept the Game Awards. Those 2 games swept.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy. Like you notice that every year there's a heavy hitter. Like next year, what you think is sweeping the Game Awards?
GTA 6.
I'd be shocked if it didn't.
Like if you put your game out next year and you're expecting to beat GTA 6 in anything, good luck.
Capcom's gonna win.
Did you see? There was a little article I saw pop up recently. It was like developers are waiting to announce the release dates for the games to see when GTA 6 is coming out.
I don't blame them.
But if you're putting a game out to get recognition, like if you're putting a game out to get recognition at all, then don't put it out with GTA 6. Don't put it out in the same year. Don't.
Unless you know GTA 6 is coming out like November or October, but like you better release that something like February or March or something like that.
Capcom's smart. They're just like, we're releasing this in February.
Well, the problem is, right? So you already have a loaded schedule now for February, March. Just about, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But Monster Hunter's coming out the end of February.
Yeah. Something at the beginning of February. That's
all I know is
Monster Hunter is like the 28th, and then Assassin's Creed is the 14th.
You're all wrong. Game of the Year next year is that Five Nights at Freddy's kart racing game coming out next year.
There's a kart racing game coming out next year.
Yeah, it's like five laps of Freddy, like five laps
What?
at Freddy's or something like that. It's like something laps. It's like it's so dope. 5 laps at Freddy's. Yeah, that's the game.
The Rule 34 around that's gonna be crazy. 5 lap dances at Freddy's. That's gonna be insane.
And you had to make it weird.
You know that's gonna happen.
And you had to make it weird.
They're not making a 5. Are they really making a 5? They really are. Well, the creator of it did basically make it essentially like
He's not involved
public
with the development.
domain.
Yeah,
in a
he's
way?
not involved. He's not involved with the development of the
Yeah.
game anymore. He didn't work on Security Breach.
No, it's basically, from my understanding of how the Five Nights at Freddy's things works, it's close to just basically being public domain, but not really. It's like if you make something within that universe, they'll acknowledge it, but it's not fully public domain, at least not yet. But it's as close as you'll get. Like, technically, if we had a studio, we could make like a Five Nights at Freddy's game. And he would
Well,
probably approve of it.
Speaking of games and winning awards, there was also another story about Balatro and their creator. So obviously, you know, like I said, we had many different games nominated. Balatro was kind of out of nowhere, you know, like this single guy or this small studio
One
just
dude.
decided to make a game. He
guy.
made a game for himself, basically. Like, and so like the story behind this is that the creator of Balatro, even though he was nominated for Game of the Year, he actually stated that he has had regrets since launching the game for the world to play. Local Thunk is the creator. He stated that the game has changed his life in so many amazing ways, but you know, they're also kind of missing the time before the game was launched because they just would play like he would just play it like to kind of recharge his batteries, like one of those things where like, you know, all right, I had a hard day, let me sit down at this little thing I made and just, you know, click, you know, and play. And so like now it's a whole different effect for him.
Now he's a millionaire.
Well, he said that he's very lucky because like after releasing Balatro, like financially, he could literally up and walk away and be set for life and not have to work anymore. Like he literally said that out of his mouth. Like, yo, I'm extremely fortunate. Like I could walk away, I could be set. I wouldn't have to work anymore. But he also said he was gonna continue to update the game. He was going to be doing a little bit of updating next year. He had some fun ideas, so you're going to see new Jokers and things of that nature. It's also received crossovers with Stardew Valley and Cyberpunk already. And Cyberpunk even added a Balatro quest. So if you're still playing Cyberpunk, definitely check out the latest update because
That
they actually
update is
added
amazing,
in.
by the way.
They actually added in
There's
some.
a lot of really good shit in that update.
Yeah. So
And the thing about Local
Right.
Thunk too is he's a very humble, wholesome guy. Like if you listen to his speech when he was receiving his award,
That
which,
wasn't him.
yeah, it wasn't him, but the guy read his speech because
Yeah.
yeah, he's anonymous. Local
You
Thunk.
don't want nobody know who he is.
yeah. I man, listen, I feel the same way. That would probably be me. And no, but he wanted to shout out all the other indie games that have come out that year, and Base was like, "Hey, go play some indie games. Go check out other indie games too." I thought, like, just reading that, I wanted to go look more into him because someone that does that gives me a good vibe that like they're a pretty wholesome person. And I looked more of it. I'm like, wow, this guy's actually pretty cool. I'd love to interview him one day. There was some way that we could somehow make that happen of like getting him on the show and interviewing him. I would love to do that one day. Hopefully.
I mean,
Maybe he would feel comfortable because we're smaller. And there wouldn't be a bunch of nervous eyes on him. I don't know if
I
can do
mean,
that.
we don't have no stain, bro.
That is true. Let me hit him up on Twitter and be like, hey, would you possibly
Hey, would you interview with a small up and coming show? You don't got to worry about everyone being on your business like that.
That is true. I should. Yo, I'm about to. I'm about to do that.
Do it.
Let me see.
Send him a message. Send him a letter. Send him a something.
Slide them DMs. But yeah, no, it's like it's crazy seeing like how it's literally just like the interviews like popping up on YouTube videos, researching. It's like, yeah, I made a game for my family, my friends. That's it. And then went to a publisher put it out, and it's like became crack on iPhone, Android, Steam,
Yeah.
Switch. It's crazy. Like that's honestly that's probably one of the craziest like indie like glow up game like stories in a game in like years. It's insane.
Yeah, I think the only other one really big indie game before was like what, Braid?
Well, yeah, Braid did Limbo. That's going back.
That's overshadowed those games by a lot. Like, a lot, man. I keep telling Tone like you have to play it. Like you have
I mean, like I said, I definitely don't want to.
So you definitely
I said I definitely don't want to. I just don't. I don't want video cocaine.
But you get Monster Hunter in February.
Yeah, right.
That is
like that's different.
That is hyper weed.
I encourage everybody.
Hyper weed.
That is hyper weed.
I want everyone to play it. All right. It's a great game. It's good. It's actually oddly relaxing too. It's like the weirdest high stress, but also relaxing at the same time.
I was like, we got different versions of relaxing because when that deck don't want to help me out, I get pissed off.
Oh yeah, no, that shit is awful when it happens. But like,
yeah, there was even a question on whether or not he was going to be making another game. He said that he definitely thought about it. He doesn't have any plans right now, but if he did make another game, he thinks that it would be actually cathartic to make it and never show anybody. So I don't know that we're gonna get another. I don't know if we're gonna get another Balatro. You know what I'm saying? He could make a Spades version for all I care, but if he just don't release it, then it'll be a little hot.
I don't think.
Could you make could you think of a 4-person Balatro but Spades?
That'd be kind of cool. Because
if you do it, I swear to God, I need payment.
If I know how to code, if I know how to code,
not you. I'm talking a local thing. If you do it, if you use this idea and do an expansion,
with special thanks to Tone.
You know,
make us
I accept PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Apple Pay, Google Pay, Zelle, whatever.
You can make us face cards too.
True.
I don't even want to be on there. I don't even want to be on it. Just put a guy with like dreads and in his face or something. Blank face with dreads.
But there's so much complexity to that game too. Of like, it isn't
absolutely. That's why I said imagine it in Spades. Imagine it with a Spades version where you're getting jokers and everything is affecting a team or 2 teams or whatever. And yeah.
But you also have to toss in the Arcana cards, the Planet cards, the Spectral cards.
Yeah, and imagine doing that between rounds.
Different things and add different things to the decks, and
imagine doing that between rounds in a game of up to 300 or 500 or whatever.
I don't know how it would be done, but I want a physical version of this. I don't know how you would do it.
No,
it's too much RNG.
It's too much math you gotta do.
Yeah.
And you want to do all that math yourself?
Nah. Can you have to factor in the spectral cards,
the multipliers,
all the jokers?
No, they ain't know what to make this physical game.
Yeah, it would be an impossible game to ever be physical without a massive amount of cards. Number one, a massive amount of cards. It would probably cost like what? If you had to count all the cards that are in it.
It's not just the fact that cards are in it. You can also duplicate cards. There's just no way to make it physical. With all the cards. Like
you can literally run a full deck of just Ace of Hearts.
So why do you think he feels this way about his game being successful?
He probably is just legitimately like gets super anxious.
Think it's like imposter syndrome.
It might be
That-
that. It's like we all got that to an extent, like for varying
yeah.
levels, everybody. But it's I think he's also just like someone who just does not want to be in the spotlight like that.
Yeah. Can you imagine you made something or you did? It's like it's the equivalent of like it's the equivalent of like one day you just live a normal life. You put something out there that you make, and then it just blows up. It's like people who randomly go
but
viral.
now he has to update. He has to.
Now there's an expectation to that thing that he's released, as opposed to he really just legitimately thought 6 people were only going to buy it.
Well,
it.
if he wasn't putting it out for the public, then why even like if he wasn't expecting it to get, why release it?
Yeah.
Why have 6 people buy it?
I was gonna say it's
Why not
weird.
give it?
It's weird to have this reaction when like he agreed to go with the publisher. Because if he didn't want to get that big, he could have just self-released on Steam.
He could have just,
maybe it would have become a little cult classic on Steam, but like it wouldn't have been advertised like that. And also, like since he went to a publisher, that's why I got submitted to the Game Awards, because it doesn't sound like he submitted himself. But publishers can submit games on their own behalf if they're publishing the game. They don't need the developer's permission to do that. For the game, I read that the publishers can just submit for like consideration Game Awards, stuff like that. So that's why it's in there. But it's like if he didn't want that to happen, I'm not saying like hey dumbass, if you didn't want it to happen, why'd you go to a publisher? But it's like at the same time, it's like if you didn't want to get this notoriety,
why'd you go to the publisher?
Yeah,
dumbass.
It's like
one of those.
You don't want the attention. Don't go to the company that's
get you the attention.
That's literally their job, is to get attention on the game.
True, but I think he legitimately didn't think that it was going to blow up to the.
I mean, the game is not graphically impressive.
It's a roguelike poker game. Like
it's a basic game. It's the gameplay loop, and you know what I think this proves that people are excited for, or they're going back to the roots of gaming. They're playing games that bring them simple pleasures, simple joys. This year has literally been a back to roots type of year.
That's true, because Helldivers 2 is exactly like that too. It's just, there doesn't need to be this gigantic, crazy story. It's just 4 people playing, killing aliens, having fun.
But that was an established IP. It's just the first game didn't blow up as big as the new one did, because it was a top-down
twin stick style shooter,
shooter game. Then they turned to a third-person shooter, in that, because a lot of people didn't play the first game because it was designed like that. You turn the game to like some kind of shooter, it's gonna automatically get like a boost of people interested in playing it, and then it's gonna have co-op too.
Yeah, that's true. And like with this, it's a simple. I wouldn't say simple, but it's a poker roguelike that I didn't think many of us. I remember when we first were reading the nominees for the Game Awards, and I saw Balatro, and I was like, what the fuck is Balatro? And I was like, a poker game? Really? We putting a poker game as Game of the Year? And then I played it, and I was like, it deserves a spot.
It's like I wasn't familiar with your game.
Yeah. It deserves a spot because it's so much more than just some poker roguelike. There's a lot going on there. This guy has thought out a pretty great system that could only be played in that. And watching other people do crazy combos, it's easy to pick up, and I believe it's also hard to master.
Yeah, I can imagine how it is, because like I said, it's what happens.
The publishers put out a lot of really good ones.
So now we're gonna go to the piece de resistance. We're gonna talk about the Game Awards. We're gonna talk about some of the game trailers that came out. We're gonna, ask. But the first question is, what are your thoughts on some of these winners? Like anything that you disagree with?
I gotta look at it. Let me look at all.
Yeah, I agree with Game of the Year. I would have been happy if Metaphor Astrobot.
or Balatro. Like those are like almost everything except for Shadow of the Erd Tree deserve the win game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go through the winners real quick. So, Game of the Year, Astrobot. Best Game Direction, Astrobot. Basically, everything that was nominated for Game of the Year was also nominated for Best Game Direction. Metaphor, Best Narrative. I didn't see anything else on there that was like in the competition. Like, I still have to play Infinite Wealth. That's in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I enjoyed Rebirth, but the narrative could have been better. Art direction, Metaphor, that Persona style, art style is just so satisfying to look at.
Smack.
Yeah. Best score of music. I knew Final Fantasy VII was winning that one because it's like when me and Hustle were watching, I was like, you took arguably the best video game soundtrack of all time and just remastered
And jazzed it up.
and jazzed it up, made it better. I was like, there was no way that was losing.
Yeah.
There was no way that was losing.
Metaphor, I have friends who turn on Metaphor just for the music.
I
believe
the
it.
Metaphor soundtrack. It's just on Spotify. It is good. It's good.
That's a hard hitting category right there.
Audio design, Hellblade 2. I still gotta play Hellblade 2. Best performance, Jurgens as Senua from Hellblade 2. I'm shocked that Humberly Gonzalez from SK Vest from Star Wars Outlaws was nominated, but I guess there really weren't that many performances this year. Well, like, okay. Didn't play games for Impact, any of the games for Impact Games. Best independent game, Balatro. But yeah, obvious. Debut indie game, Balatro. Yeah, obviously. Best ongoing game, Helldivers 2 did win that.
I'm glad that they did win.
Other options were Destiny 2, Diablo
Final
4,
Fantasy, and the normal Fortnite.
Community Support, Baldur's Gate 3, when they add the mod support. Yeah, obviously.
Absolutely.
Balatro, best mobile game. Yep.
I'm glad that one.
VR game, Batman Arkham Shadow.
I mean, Balatro is best mobile game over like Zenless Zone Zero.
Yes.
Wuthering Waves. There was a lot of different mobile games that came out.
Bro, MiHoYo literally filled up that
Hoyoverse.
entire category.
I know, but like there's a lot of different other games that could have been in the running. Like,
could they compare to like Hoyoverse games? Could they though?
We're gonna literally say like Wuthering Waves isn't a Hoyoverse
No, it is.
clone that like legitimately was doing numbers. Like, yeah, like
I mean, Genshin has become the thing to start.
Yeah, but my thing is that like if you're gonna do something for 2024, why don't you do mobile games that released in 2024? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are you putting Genshin up there?
I don't know.
Why is Honkai Star Rail up there?
I didn't understand that either. I was like, why is Star Rail up there?
What, for the mobile games this year?
Yeah.
It wasn't that was nominated this year. It was
Wait,
Balatro, AFK Journey, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. Those are mobile.
All right, so one Hoyoverse game was up there, but Zenless Zone Zero, Balatro, Pokemon TCG Pocket is crazy.
Yeah, Wuthering Waves came out this year too, though.
Out of all those games, I will say this: Balatro gives you the best bang for your buck. It's like what, $10?
$10 on phone, yeah. Action game Wukong, yeah, I agree with that. It did beat Space Marine 2, but Wukong was just so much bigger as terms of like a campaign. Action adventure game Astrobot, Metaphor won RPG, best fighting game Tekken 8. I saw some people saying Sparking Zero should have won over Tekken 8. And I'm like, no.
Sparking Zero is fun. And it's definitely exciting, but Tekken is polished.
Yeah. Tekken is a fighter.
Family game Astrobot. What's next? Sim strategy game Frostpunk 2. This was kind of a slim year for sim games.
Yeah, it was gonna be.
Manor Lords or Frostpunk 2.
Yeah. Best
Because Manor Lords, let's not forget, Manor Lords was done by an extremely small team.
Yeah.
Yep.
That man solo developed that game for so long.
Frostpunk 2 is great.
EA Sports Football Club 25 won its best sports game because there wasn't. I mean, the
Because it's
sports
FIFA.
game. Yeah.
Yeah.
Helldivers 2 best multiplayer game. Yeah. Innovation and accessibility. Prince of Persia Lost Crown because I didn't realize it had that many options because like I am fortunately able enough to not have to like use crazy options like that, so I didn't even look at that menu when I was playing it. Best adaptation. I wasn't sure if those was going to go to Arcane or Fallout, but
I thought it
Fallout
was gonna
won.
go to Arcane. That's what I thought.
But
All right,
Fallout did
so
win.
is there anything that you think that won that shouldn't have
Yeah, one that shouldn't. I
Let me
would
look.
say
besides Fallout? Because you got to see Todd Howard make an acceptance speech.
I hate it. Oh my god! I told, bro, you should have been there and heard. I was raging at that. I was like, get the fuck off the stage.
To be perfectly honest, there's not many things on here besides adaptation I disagree with. What we also most anticipated game, yeah, GTA 6. Yeah, we know. And the player's voice was Black Myth Wukong. The other options are, that was a player's voice is what I think y'all were thinking of, because it was Black Myth Wukong, Genshin Impact, Shadow of the Erd Tree, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. That's what that was all.
That has only two whatchamacallit.
Yeah.
Two Hoyo games. But
Listen,
Hoyo games ain't gonna beat out Shadow of the Erd Tree and Wukong and like you know what I'm saying? Like
listen. I'm gonna tell you straight out. A TikToker that me and Rajan listen to named DQ Roma made a great point. If the Game Awards itself were left up to the players, it would be the worst shit ever.
Yeah, you would be seeing games up there that should not even be in the conversation for some of these topics.
While we're talking, we're gonna actually have Loon play some of these trailers just in the background. You know what I'm saying? So you can visually see some of these.
Why is Genshin up there for Player's Choice? Why?
People still
Genshin is still heavily played and highly popular.
So Genshin would just be there every single year then.
Probably.
But
to be honest with you, because Genshin doesn't die.
Yeah, because it's literally a money siphon.
It's literally doing exactly what it was designed to do.
Am I the only one who feels like that's incredibly wrong, though?
All right. So speaking of the Black Myth Wukong controversy, do you think snubbing is something that happens at the Video Game Awards?
Yes.
Do you think that? Oh, all right. Explain.
Jedi Survivor.
Terrible game when it came out.
I don't care. Got fixed in a month.
Space Marine 2.
Hurts its whatchamacallit. Space Marine 2 was nominated for stuff.
You got nominated Best Action Game. And
do you think that whatever beat Space Marine 2 didn't deserve to win over Space Marine 2?
I think that Shadow of the Erd Tree didn't deserve to be on Game of the Year over things like
I agree with that.
Or Helldivers.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not in the camp that Space Marine 2 should have been nominated for Game of the Year as much as I loved it. I like I said before, Helldivers 2 should have firmly been in the game.
Helldivers 2 shut the gaming industry down in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Right after Power World. And yet Power World got no nominations.
Yeah, Power should have also been that should have also been, that's technically an indie game that should have been nominated for best indie game.
I think
they didn't.
I think they didn't want to do it because of the current shit with Nintendo, and they didn't want to piss Nintendo off by putting that up there. I strongly feel that there are business politics behind the scenes, specifically that. I know people like to think oh, Black Myth Wukong didn't win because blah 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 blah.
Black Myth Wukong didn't win, but Power World had
World. That is a clear example.
That was a sneak
politics behind the scenes that are keeping a certain game snubbed because Jeff Keighley is very close with Nintendo.
He's very in the camp. He's very in the camp of all the big game developers. He doesn't want to piss any of them off. Also, the crazy thing is Power World wasn't nominated for one thing.
Nothing.
No.
Nothing.
No.
And yet it was the biggest game at the beginning of the year.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I meant by something being released early or being released at the early window and not getting any attention. The fact that Power World came out in January and wasn't nominated. What was the earliest game that came out that was nominated this year?
It didn't get nominated.
It might have been Helldivers. Huh?
Yeah. It's Helldivers, 100%.
Yeah, and Helldivers came out in April.
Yeah. No, Helldivers. No, it did not.
No, February, I think.
February.
Was it February?
Yes.
Yeah. February 8th. I just looked it up.
So it was a month after Power World. Still,
But for some reason, everyone that's why I'm saying I don't think everyone forgot Power World. I literally think that
they even showed a Power World trailer.
Yeah, that's what's messed up. I'm 99% sure they probably submitted Power World for a bunch of stuff, but potentially Jeff Keighley was like, I'm not trying to get involved in all that. So we'll show
They literally showed new Power World content.
We'll show you a trailer, but you ain't getting any award nominations because I'm not trying to get in the middle of this little fight y'all got.
And Power World has actually and actively removed the Power World, the little balls.
Yeah,
Power Spheres.
Yeah. Sony, however, on their own awards for games and shit like that, they did acknowledge, and Power World did win something on there, which shouldn't be a surprise. Sony was like, we don't like Nintendo, so whatever.
In the video game industry, do we acknowledge anybody outside of the video game awards when people are nominated?
What
do you mean?
Like other award shows?
Yeah.
Golden Joysticks is the other big one.
When does that come out? Do we get the live stream of it or something?
That was
on Tuesday, so we can watch with our people.
That was last month.
Last month. That's crazy. See, that's what I'm saying. That's mad early.
But the reason why a lot of people like the Golden Joystick Awards is because the player vote is more heavily weighted. How the Game Awards is 85% panel vote of specifically chosen publishers, executives, and content creators and everything like that. I think it's more like a 60-40 for the Golden Joystick Awards. So that's why a lot of people like that better, because there's people like us actually seem to have more of an impact on the vote. What did they put for this year's Game of the Year?
Oh, while you looking that up. So speaking of mobile games, right? Pokemon TCG Pocket released the update yesterday, and they put in the new packs and whatever. Your boy hit a God pack.
Nice.
God pack. Go ahead.
So for Golden Joystick Awards, here for comparison, here is their awards. It's gonna go quick. Storytelling, 587 Rebirth. Visual design, Black Myth Wukong. Multiplayer game, Helldivers 2. Audio design, Astrobot. Best game expansion, Shadow of the Erdtree.
That makes sense.
That needs to be a category.
Best indie game and best self-published indie game, Another Crab's Treasure. Best indie game in general, Balatro. Studio of the Year, Team Asobi that made Astrobot. Best soundtrack.
Sorry, Ande. I did hit a God pack. Got that golden Mew.
Studio of the best soundtrack, 7 Rebirth. Studio of the Year, Asobi for Astrobot. Game trailer, Helldivers 2. I didn't even realize this was a topic. Best early access game, Lethal Company.
Okay.
That was
I still
controlling.
need to play that.
Best still playing award for mobile specifically, Honkai Star Rail. Best still playing award, PC and console, Minecraft. Streamer's Choice Award, Chained Together. So I think I was just kind of best streamed, most popular stream game.
I remember Kai and Speed were playing Chained Together.
Best breakthrough game, Balatro. Best gaming hardware, the OLED Steam Deck. Best game adaptation, also went to Fallout. Best supporting performer, this one was Brianna White for Aerith and Rebirth. So it wasn't Senua from Hellblade 2. Best lead performer was Cody Christian as Cloud and Rebirth. PC Game of the Year, Satisfactory. Console Game of the Year, Helldivers 2. Critics' Choice, Helldivers 2. Most Wanted Game, GTA 6, obviously. But Black Myth Wukong won Game of the Year for Golden Joysticks. So I think that's also contributing.
Time going to that one.
Well, no, I think people are comparing these awards right because of the two biggest game awards.
Although Golden
publication
is not nearly as advertised,
but people assume because it won Ultimate Game of the Year here, it's also going to win Game of the Year at the Game Awards
somewhere else. Yeah,
but since this one has more player impact, that's why Black Myth Wukong won here.
All right, so what trailers were you most excited about? Like I said, we already talked about Steel Hunters. We already talked about Borderlands.
Onimusha.
I have a couple of ones that actually caught my attention. That rematch game was fire.
Do you want to do top 3, I guess, for each of us?
Okay.
Onimusha, because was not.
You can't let it go.
Well, no, I was not expecting that at all, and also, but I'm just also salty because my boy behind me, it's his birthday today, and we ain't getting no Mega Man love.
Yeah, that's wild.
By Capcom, but we get an Okami. I'm like, cool. Let's revive old franchises. Dope. Where's my boy at? Where's my boy at? But no, Onimusha, that Telltale game, Dispatch.
That looks so good.
That threw me off because that looks dope.
Yeah,
that looks so good.
Now, like that's the first Telltale game. Like I like Telltale games, but that's the first one I'm excited about in like a long time. And oh god, what was it? Not I have to look at the trailers again. I'm blanking on the name.
Is it Intergalactic?
No,
That is
I'm
Naughty
definitely
Dog
gonna
game?
get. I'm definitely gonna get that, and that looks cool. But I'm trying to remember.
We follow a code of honor.
Come back.
It is not forgiving. To betray one
Is that your number
is to
one?
betray all.
I think Onimusha is my number one.
Do you wish to commit yourself,
Because that
your life,
reminds me like
to this family?
Like I don't get how no one else I just picked up that live.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, like the TV, like
I
the
do.
screens are right?
To become a man of
Playing a
honor,
Sony like audio system, like
repeat these words. I swear my loyalty to this family. My flesh has to burn like
80s, baby, 90s kid. That's what we grew up on, is watching sci-fi films from the 80s. So for me, I'm very excited to play that game. Although there's like a weird sect of people who are like downvoting the trailer massively. If you have dislikes turned on for YouTube, like I have with like an add-on, that trailer is massively like disliked for some reason from the weirdo crowd.
Outer Worlds 2 was my third.
Oh yeah, Outer Worlds 2. Oh, yeah.
Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah, I love that first game. I can't wait for the new one.
So what's your second and third, Hustle?
Well, I said my second was Intergalactic, but my first was Onimusha, and my third is gonna be Okami 2. I absolutely love the first Okami. I can't wait to play the second one. Okami is a beautiful, beautiful game. At that time that it came out, it did Zelda better than Zelda did.
I'm gonna be honest. My first is probably gonna be, well, aside Mecha Break, because we all know Mecha Break is Mecha Break. But aside from Mecha Break, I actually really, really, really like Mafia: The Old Country.
Okay,
Because Mafia is going to Italy, like literally to the old country.
I do want to play that too. Yeah, that looks great.
Intergalactic looked good. I have my doubts about it though. Like when you start talking religions and heretics and things like that, it just you start losing me a little bit. And
Hey, what do you mean?
Have you looked up the name of the full name of the game?
Intergalactic, yeah, the Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet.
Okay.
So yeah. And I think my other one, like I actually was liking, things like Steel Hunters and Split Fiction, but again, me and first person shooters don't really vibe like that. So even though they look fun, it's probably not gonna be my move. But
Also, Split Fiction.
Jen from
Split Fiction's EA, so let's take that with a grain of salt.
Split Fiction, yeah. Like I said, but again, like Fragpunk looked good, but Jen and Project Century, like Jen, I guess it's Jen, the one from the creators of Eco and Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, no, that's gonna be a banger.
Also, that I forgot to say an honorable mention. I can't wait to see what happens more with the new Virtua Fighter being made by the Like a Dragon studio.
Yeah.
That's gonna be interesting.
Even Project Century looked pretty good. Like you got to know what you're getting into when you're dealing with a Like a Dragon. But Project Century is literally Like a Dragon, but
in the 1910s.
That, like, what is that? The 80s?
No, it's like 1915 or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Project Century, early Century.
Yeah.
What is? I'm just now seeing Split Fiction. Oh, it's from the makers of It Takes Two. Oh, all right.
That's what I'm saying. Like Split
Yeah.
Fiction, like
Yeah.
all these co-op games, obviously are going to rely on heavy co-op or whatever, and so that might not be everybody's cup of tea. But also Catley looked interesting. Just for
Wait, what is it?
those, it's called Catley.
Oh, I saw that. Like it's like a new like cat puzzle game. Not like Stray, but like you play as like a human and a cat, and it's like
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it, obviously.
Let me look.
You're gonna get it for real?
Yeah,
It's a cat game. Yes.
Okay.
I've been playing. What's it called?
I feel
Little
like I'm
Kitty,
learning
Big
things
City.
about you. I can't.
I
play-
played the hell out of Stray. I love that.
I can't do cats. Like I'm allergic to cats. Like they make me sneeze and swell my eyes up and all that stuff. So
My
sadly,
High Four is
you
showing
know,
right behind me right now, but
and it's not even that I don't like cats. It's just that, you know, like the hair just
messes the dander messages.
yeah,
Wait.
it just does things like. So if I'm around a cat for too long, or if I touch a cat, then I have to go wash my hands.
Freedom Wars is getting
Typically, I
remastered?
might be able to like stay in a house with a cat for a while. No, you're not on the Witcher 4 boat alone. The thing is about the Witcher 4 is that we all know that the Witcher 4 is a shoe-in. Now, there's
I need
also the
gameplay.
thing- yeah, there's also the thing that CD Projekt Red does where they release a game and we know that game is going to be a banger. And what happens is the game is a banger after a while. They don't just release games and they just be like, all right, playable. No, we've seen it with The Witcher 3 because if you don't remember, Roach floated in the sky for a good while. We've seen it with Cyberpunk. We've seen it with pretty much most of their games. You don't get that game when it first comes out. You get that game after about a month or two.
Yeah,
not what
and
you
even
believe
then, I
now.
think Witcher 3 was still the smoothest out of like
Launches.
Yes, and it still had problems.
Yes.
That is
There
very-
are still bugs floating around from early Witcher 3 times, but no, you're not alone. The story looked good. I was captured. I was like, what is this? Some of the things that they showed look so realistic, but I know that that's not how these games are going to look when we play it. They might look like that in cutscenes, but that's not how these games are going to look when we're actually actively playing.
Yeah.
Elden Ring Night Rain looks like Elden Ring, obviously. You know, what game is this on screen? This looks like
That is.
That's Steel
Hunters.
Steel Hunters, which is currently in beta, which you can go play right now on Steam.
On Steam.
Yeah,
A lot of people are excited because, you know, Zoids.
that's what I was saying. I was like, am I finally getting like a Zoids game? Because
Yeah, like it feels like it's Zoids.
That's I mainly bought. Well, not bought. Well, obviously you unlock them. I mainly unlocked the Zoids looking ones.
The animal ones.
Yeah.
Because
Don't get me
Beast
wrong,
Wars.
I love me humanoid.
Beast Wars.
Yeah, I love me
Yeah.
humanoid looking like mechs, obviously, duh, because Gundam. But I love Zoids, so it's like, all right, I have to unlock at least all 3 of those. No, it's fun.
But yeah, Fragpunk looked good. It just, I believe it was first person. Like some of these games were definitely bangers.
I didn't see a single trailer that I thought was like, oh, this looks like ass.
Yeah, no, there weren't any like outright like.
Well, their job is to
bad
make it
looking
not look like ass.
But you know what I'm talking about. Like, there's some
Suicide
trailers where it's
Squad.
just like, ooh, I am not interested in this at all.
Suicide Squad.
No. Can't even say that.
Now
because I
that
think
the
we
initial
all-
teaser trailer was kind of like, ooh, snap, Suicide Squad game by
Yeah,
Rocksteady.
It looked like it had potential.
True, and it was also
all
by
know that.
Rocksteady. So yeah, automatically.
That
Yeah.
trailer, that first trailer, looked like it was gonna be a banger. I was like, yo, this is gonna be crazy. I was like, this is gonna be crazy. I call Deadshot. Like, you know what I mean? We were amped for it. And
But
then-
that Rocket League soccer game, no, bro. It wasn't Rocket League because you were running around as a person.
Wait, what?
Rematch. The trailer for Rematch.
I didn't see that.
It was a soccer game where you could kick the ball off the wall, and like the ball never like went out of bounds.
I did not see that. Wait, hold on.
Oh
Let me see.
wow, that's crazy.
That had to have been when we were in the movie theater.
Yeah, it was early. It was actually one of the first trailers played in the whole show.
Let me see. Oh my god, so many trailers have just come out. The new Karate Kid trailer came out.
It's called
Friggin-
Rematch.
They actually just released the trailer for Exodus with actual gameplay in it. I take back what I said earlier about it being on secret level because they actually do have gameplay now, and it looks great.
I don't want to talk about secret level.
Exodus looks like next gen Mass Effect, straight up next gen Mass Effect. I guess current gen technically would be, but yeah. Like if Mass Effect were to come out now with updated technology and new graphics, and Exodus is what Mass Effect would be.
One more thing before we get going. We got a little bit of time for a little bit of talk. So I finally played Marvel Rivals.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we were playing, so.
Oh yeah. We played Marvel Rivals together, Hustle, Loon, and I. And I also played a little bit after that. So I played it on PS5. I played it on PC. So now I have two accounts, obviously, because I don't know how to link the two. But I've found that yes, Cloak and Dagger does really vibe with me. Other than that, I've only played mainly healers. All right, so I seem like a psychopath, is what you're saying. He says, "Hey, Tone, you seem like a Jeff kind of guy." Yeah, no. Jeff the Shark is not there to. He's not there to play the game. He's there to prove a point. Jeff is literally sending a message. If you see your opponent with Jeff the Shark doing Jeff the Shark things, he is there to prove a point. I have not played Jeff the Shark. I played with Rocket Raccoon. I played with Luna Snow. I played with Loki a little bit. Cloak and Dagger. I did play with Mantis a tad. Even Adam Warlock. I will not pick Jeff the Shark. Will not pick Jeff the Shark. Because, yes, on principle, on DP.
Jeff the I'm not gonna lie. The rays that blows up inside me every time Jeff does this, all it's just like,
bro. Once I got eaten along with somebody else and dragged off the stage, I was like, oh nah, I'm not doing that. Oh nah.
Like, what's worse? Getting shot out and he still stays on the stage, or he just completely kamikazes himself with you?
Getting shot out. Because it's that Hawk tour.
I think it's worse getting kamikaze because he's just proven he doesn't care about life itself.
Yeah. Like
that's just worse. Like that's
I think that any person who picks Jeff the Shark leaves the house with no pockets.
The person who picks Jeff the Shark wears black Air Forces.
No.
I'm just gonna take.
I think that anybody who wears black Air Forces picks Iron Fist.
Yeah,
that is literal black Air Force energy.
I'm gonna take it back to a scholar of our time, that old black bus driver. Whoever plays Jeff the Shark, your mom's a hoe.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
They had to sit there while they could hear their mom getting abused in the next room. Like,
hey yo!
I'm saying,
you're not wrong.
Took kind of far.
Not physically abused. I'm just saying, like, you could hear the screams through the walls.
Getting taken to Pound Town.
Well, I didn't want to say Pound Town. It sounds weird.
But everybody knows what Pound Town means. Wait, the studio that's making Rematch made Sifu?
Yes. Weird, isn't it?
What? Yo, what is yo? This studio's track record is kind of crazy when you really think about. Hold on,
Yeah,
Hold on.
bro.
Wait.
Absolver
Absolver to Sifu, that makes
to
sense.
rematch.
What? Like Absolver makes sense.
Yes.
Absolver and Sifu aren't too different from each other that I would not believe that being a thing, right? It's in the same vein. Like Sifu made sense being after Absolver. Rematch makes no goddamn sense being after Sifu. Do I get to beat people up mid-match? Like,
I don't know.
karate kick someone in the face?
No,
I gotta play through Sifu again. The game was so much guys.
but it looks so good. Like
It does.
it looks like it's coming for FIFA's throne a little bit, but like it's not as serious.
And there's way more shit you can do because it's in
A
like
dome.
a digital box
Yes.
that apparently
Yes.
changes the backgrounds to underwater space. I want to play this. This looks interesting. Sign up for the beta. I need to sign up for the beta. Oh, this looks great. I ain't gonna hold you. If they turn soccer to this, I wouldn't be mad. If real soccer turns into something like this, someone called it FIFU.
Fifu is wild.
It's accurate though,
It's so stupid. I hate it.
but it's accurate as fuck.
I know, but I hate how dumb the joke is, but it works. That's why I'm mad. It's dumb.
Oh, this looks so good.
Rematch?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's watching the trailer.
Loon,
I-
if you
yeah, I
can pull
didn't-
the
I didn't-
trailer up.
I didn't
Loon
even see
probably already played the trailer.
Wow.
Or it's like it's coming up soon. So does anybody want anybody have any feedback on like Marvel Rivals in general? Like I had a friend say that it was kind of like Overwatch but just not as polished.
I got some things to say. Now, couple things I think are weird design choices. Number one, too many people have fucking hit scan when they shouldn't. For people who don't know that means there's no bullet drop off for real. It's easy to aim because like when you aim, you're shooting straight. There's no like volley like Hawkeye's bullets or anything like that. It's just easy. Like there's weird characters that hit scan for no reason, in my opinion. I think healing is. I think it's a combination of two things with healing. Healing is overtuned right now, but also like
Underpowered.
damage. No, I was gonna say
I think
I would say underpowered, but only because everyone does so much damage.
yeah.
Like so the healing has to be high. So I think a combination of like just overall base damage needs to be lowered a little bit, and also base healing needs to be lowered a bit. Like there's so many random times where it's inconsistent with healing. Like you can be kept up for like 10, 15 seconds, even if you got like a mad healer. It seems like other times you just die immediately. Whether even if you're playing a tank.
True.
And it's weird.
But I feel like there are some healers that need a buff because Rocket's heals feel very underwhelming, like incredibly underwhelming compared to like Luna Snow.
They are,
or-
but they have utility because you can be
Because you got
strategic
buffs.
with them and you can bounce them off, and he gives shields, and he has
True.
stuff like that, and he has good
True.
synergy with other characters like Punisher and Groot and other shit like that.
I mean, Punisher is pretty strong right now too, because that turret.
The turret definitely needs
is
the turret needs
ridiculous.
the turret needs to have less health, and he shouldn't be invincible while he's like setting it up. I think that's kind of
You can kill him while he's in it. I've done it numerous
Oh
times.
no, I'm
setting
saying
it up.
when the initial setup, I think
Oh,
he has like
yeah.
a second and a half iframes or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody ever tried to do the Punisher with Luna Snow, like doing her ult
Oh shit! Yeah.
What I've been seeing a lot of people do is in
with the
comp,
damage buff.
I've seen some people do it, but another fun thing I see people do is like on a push map, they'll have Doctor Strange set up. Doctor Strange will set up a portal before they get to the cart. put the portal up in the air behind the enemy team that's trying to stop the car from pushing. Punch the turret setup, shoots them from behind with the turret. So they gotta turn around, pay attention to the turret shooting them through the portal, while also the tanks are jumping on from the front. I was like, I like the ingenuity of the game, but I'd be pissed off if that would against me.
That's sick.
Not as pissed off as that team from last night when they didn't realize that you could actually shoot back through the portal. When we did that last night.
Oh yeah, we were playing. It was like they set up a portal above us, and I was like, I'm just gonna shoot back at you. Like it's not a one-way ticket. Like we can shoot back through you. It's like what are you?
I'm having fun because it reminds me a lot of like those OG Overwatch days where you could just do stupid stuff and he didn't lock in so heavily towards esports. I'm hoping they're not going to do that eventually with this game. Of like this major focus on esports, which I think, in my opinion, is what really was the detriment to Overwatch, was just like this heavy emphasis on making it an esport game. Like not every online multiplayer PvP type game needs to be an esport game. It doesn't have to be. Not everything has to be. Because esports, you don't make money in it anyway. Sure, it gets your game out there for like maybe a bigger audience, but let's be real. Esports is not a very lucrative thing to jump into unless it's like possibly maybe a fighting game, and that's maybe I'd have to see the numbers behind how much like Capcom's Pro Tour makes in terms of revenue for Street Fighter. I don't know, but esports,
it's all like sponsorships.
Yeah, exactly. In esports is not very lucrative. Granted, this is probably going to have some financial backing from Disney if Disney decides to say, hey, let's put money in on esports. They'll be fine in that aspect because you've got Disney money behind you.
And at this point, I think Disney money is bigger than like other companies' money.
Yeah. I mean, granted, Blizzard does have the backing of Microsoft, but I don't think Microsoft's investors are going to be like, oh, yeah, let's go put money in on esports.
Well, the reason why Disney money is like some of the most valuable money is because of how many like valuable IPs they own.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of the video game shit is like temporary, but Marvel, Star Wars, and Disney is pretty much forever. Unless we're talking Mario and Pokemon. Mario and Pokemon.
Well, yeah, Pokemon, yeah, it's still the single
That's the single most revenue generating
IP of all time.
Yeah. So.
And Mario is one of the most recognizable, if not the most recognizable video game character next to like Sonic the Hedgehog.
I think our next trailers are gonna be Rematch and then Onimusha or Onimusha's.
Because currently what we have right now is the new Elden Ring.
Yeah, we got Night Rain.
Yeah, Night Rain. So again, we wanted you guys to be able to see some of these trailers. We will show you Rematch in just a moment. You know, by all means, stick with us. We actually already showed you Rematch. Sorry. But Onimusha is what we're going to close out with. That's going to be our last one. And after that, you know, we'll let you all go. Because like I said, we've been here for quite a while. I know it's been a little bit of a lengthy show. But, you know, I think that we should watch some of these together. If you didn't know what this Elden Ring Night Rain is, it's literally like a standalone spin-off of Elden Ring. And essentially what it is it's a multiplayer Elden Ring game that will allow you to stay with your party. I'm guessing.
Yep.
So,
and you don't make your own character.
It's a rogue. It's gonna be a roguelike co-op game that you like have 8 different preset characters to start with items from. But they didn't say. They said there's not gonna be any like stat builds. All characters and avatars, whatever they're gonna be called, can use all weapons, all spells, and stuff like that. It's just a matter of what you find when you play.
Apparently,
it's you know what happens when you got stat builds, right? You get people that cheat the system.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That is true. So yeah, this might actually be balanced, I guess.
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't think of it like that. Yeah, if you have set weapons, set
As you're
magic.
going through, or
depending
you're
on
going
the
through levels
character.
and stuff like that. Like, and with
Oh,
the
this is
levels,
secret level,
it's
by the way,
stats.
Tone.
Huh?
This
They
is
showed a
under-
little ad for it.
Yeah, now we got
yeah.
up on the screen right now.
This game
So-
here is Onimusha. If you're not familiar with Onimusha, it is a game that was made by, I believe it was Capcom.
Yep.
Many years ago. The original one was Onimusha Warlords. They also had like a 2 and a 3. It was
Dawn of Dream.
it wasn't it Ninja Gaiden before Ninja Gaiden?
No, it was different. It was honestly the first survival horror slasher,
Okay.
and I think it's the only survival horror slasher.
Yeah, I didn't really see Onimusha as a. I played Onimusha Warlords because I don't do horror games. But I believe I played Onimusha.
I mean,
Then
it's
again,
horror
the
in the sense
graphics
that
were so bad back then. It's not like they were trying to scare you.
I mean, it's horror in the sense that it is literally made off of the Resident Evil engine.
True.
So
Okay.
it's basically like, what if we made Resident Evil but in ancient Japan, and
And you play samurai.
and you play the samurai? Yeah, based off a real samurai, by the way. Samanosuke Akechi, but the real name is Mitsuhide Akechi.
I'm getting less human by the minute.
Fucking
Oh, you know
nerd.
about Mitsuhide?
Huh?
I said, you know about Mitsuhide?
Bro, I became a Sengoku nerd for like a hot second.
So as you can see, that is coming out 2026. So again, this is what we have as far as our presentation for the Video Game Awards. I appreciate everybody showing up tonight. We've talked about plenty. I hope that you all had fun. I've had fun. I always appreciate you guys for being active in the conversation and definitely commenting on the content. If you have an opportunity or if you just want to hear the show, run it back, you could always feel free, turn it on YouTube, let it play, and just let it run. Anytime that you're trying to clean your house or driving to work or whatever. But again, we appreciate all your time, all your efforts. We appreciate the likes, the comments, the interactions. Okay, so we just want to say that we appreciate you as a people, as a whole, and we thank you for joining us. And with that, I'll leave you with our normal. If there's anything that you ever want to accomplish, all you got to do is just press the start button. Peace.
Peace.
Later, y'all.